Now this guy, Brax, appears everywhere. Any shop, it's always the same demon, and you can buy and sell goods here. Now, for instance, I've got nothing that I really need to sell at the moment because it's all useful. But let's have a look and see what he's got. For instance, we could get a leather belt, extra defense, and we've got various different traps, armor, boots. Some of these are crafting components, some of these are quite later weapons. For instance, the magma mace. Belt of Champions is nice. This is a special named item, Packing the Thoughtless Tentacles. Yes, you can in this game create named items, but we'll come across, show you that when we come across it. Okay, so not much we can do over here. Now, one of the problems of being with vampirism is we don't regenerate normally. We have to kind of kill creatures in order to get our hit points back. So we're kind of screwed in many ways. Now, thankfully at the moment the creatures aren't too difficult, so I can handle them. And now you see, this is what killed me last time. Traps. Walk over, I can click on them, and you can disable them. And if you're good enough, you can actually recover them. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fire off a magic spell here. Because we're going to be fighting too, I want to get through this fight quickly. And then cancel that because we don't need that anymore. Sometimes it's more efficient just to keep it running, and other times it's more efficient to cancel it down. It depends on how much fighting you're going to be doing. Now he's just slapped on the easy target curse on me again. Because he's actually quite easy to kill, I decided to walk up to him, but it's not always the wisest idea. Just waiting a turn. And yes, we just keep trading hits back and forth, but because he's got such low damage, I can generally get through this without losing too much health. But one of the things I'm going to need to do is increase my vampirism, because there's just no way I can survive if I don't. Copper ingot, that is a crafting. Ooh, lockpicks handy. And some arrows. Now if I just had a crossbow to actually fire with, we'd be all happy. Sewer brew gets us magic back. Right, and so here we go. Right, we're gonna go off with a magic because diggles are actually quite tough. And that gets us a level up. Okay, vampirism. Drain corpses, gets health back. We need that because there's just no other way that we can get health back other than magic. We don't have magic, we don't have the potions. Now these, loot fisk, a very useful thing. It's part of, when you find this, the loot fisk statue, like this here, you can offer these to the god. Now if you provide enough, I think it goes up to 500. It's like acts as a percentage chance. If you give 1, you've barely got 1 in 500 chance of getting an item. If you give 500, you've got 100% chance of getting an item. And the more that you give when you get the item, well, more that you've given, the better the item will be. So it's often worth waiting until you got 500 and then give them all in one go. Now, the amount that you find on the ground is very limited, but there are ways of finding or creating more. Now, we desperately need to find an item, a weapon of some sort. Now, there we go. We just managed to kill the evil vegetable. Yes, it's a magic potato that we killed. So what I do is eat that, and I get some health back. Now this is a lever that opens up the gate. We're just going to leave this running at the moment. Need to pay him a bit more attention. Some item. Now that does nothing because that was hooked up over to there. Well, actually what we're going to do is going to come down here and just check out this door first. Oop, we got a bit lucky. No, we can't disable that. Plastic ore. Yes, you can find... Could really actually do with a little bit better ability to spot traps. I've also got to pay a darn sight more attention. Now you see, I can't eat this food, which would normally heal me. So I've kind of got to survive until I find a monster. Now I think there were some dead bodies back earlier. I need to start going back across these bodies. Get myself some health back. There you go. It's not so bad now. Still not brilliant, but at least I'm not going to die when an enemy looks at me. Okay, let's try this again without stepping over every single trap in my path. Normally I do a bit better than that, but oh well. Right. Now he's actually quite dangerous at this level, so what we're going to do is we're going to take that boomerang, we're going to throw it. Not exactly much. Use the electric power. If we hit, so long as he doesn't counter, we'll win. Now we just kind of got to run for a while. Because I don't know, there. That just gives us a bit of distance. We've got some distance to work with, which allows us to do that. Keep a very close eye out, which means we can use his body, which means we can survive for a little bit longer. Yes, there are points where you have to be very, very careful now. Need to try and kill him. Right, we managed to kill him. Eat his body, and then that's it. We can drop this. And we're now no longer immediately dying. Now we just got to be very, very careful not to set off any other traps. If we do, we basically were dead. Alright, let's have a look around. So what we got? We've got some sandals that we can equip. Now, you see here, that little symbol, that increases our nimbleness. Nimbleness, indirectly or directly, oh, there you go, there was a trap just right there. Affects your sneakiness, dodge chance, counterattack. So depending on how high it goes, it can increase some of these other attributes. This is armor absorption. At the moment we've got no armor absorption, so we're going to take the full effects of damage of everything. And also over here, resistances, that would give you, show you the specific damage types that you can get damage reduction against. Now you see here, that's a named item. Now, there are some powers that allow you to I didn't think they were going to last particularly long. It's a vampire. I'm not fond of vampires whatsoever. Okay, let's try again. As you can see, this is a game that you'll just keep on playing over and over again. Yeah, I really should have been paying more attention. Okay, so this character, let's see, yeah, here we go, resistances. He's actually got some resistance. He's got acidic resistance, part of his natural abilities. Which particular power does it? Ah, yes, there you go, alchemy. Right, we got Berserk, which is quite handy. Periodically you will get additional bonuses to your combat ability. Okay, let's see if we can actually complete a level and show you the next dungeon area. Okay, now you see that creature over there is asleep. You can tell by the ZZZZZ. If you get too close and you fight, you will wake it up. What we're going to do is, because we've got no weaponry, we're going to get a bit closer, cast the spell, There you see, there's a chest there. And that was a magic ring. I'll look at it in a second. Increase our magic regeneration rate. Increases, I think it's ethereal resistance and stubbornness. They're very handy, so we'll put that on. Means our magic's going to be regenerating a lot quicker. And as you can see, now there's been some fighting. That creature's woken up. And our Berserker Rage. That increases our strength and our power and also our damage reduction. Right, got some money. And over here we got some boomerangs. There's nothing else glinting. Pull this lever. Something happened. Don't always know what those levers do because you can't always see it in the same room. Aha! Inconsequentia, the goddess of side quests. She's quite handy. I don't like to take those quests immediately. I don't know if it's bugged or something like that, but I often have difficulty if I try and take a quest too early of it just never happening or never working. So we're going to come back to that in a moment once we've finished off mapping this level. Now you see this character, the health is actually going up. Now also you can stop there, don't need the magic. We've now actually, oh, now you see that enemy actually stepped on the trap. Yes, the traps not only affect you but they affect them as well. So if you're able to get hold of a trap, you can lay them around to act as a defense for yourself. There you go, boulder trap just there. We're actually causing some real damage now. Wow. Now he's got no ranged ability, so we're just going to keep running away for a while, regenerate our health, and you see sometimes periodically they kind of move out of the way. So that allows me to find an item, for instance this, eat it, and we're just going to make sure that we can kill him. There we go. I've boosted up my magic. I'm shutting it down because it's going to take a while. As you can see, my magic's going up now with our increased regen rate quite quickly. Diggle eggs. You can pick them up early on, but they become quite rare. They're actually very useful crafting components and they're used in quite a lot of things. Now this creature, little baddie, quite weak, little damage. There we go. Now, because we're not a vampire, we've got a lot more choice over what we can do. Now, we've got two crafting abilities here, tinkering and alchemy. This is also very useful, this particularly archaeologist. And when we get a named item which we don't need, if we use it belongs in a museum, we're able to basically exchange it for experience points so we can level up. Now let's have a look at the Viking magic. This could be quite useful. These summoned roots stop your foes dead in their tracks. Also with the crushing of the throats and all of that. Cold attack, war cry. So various forms of attack power. Now the lightning attack seems to be doing us quite good. Lots of resistances, increases. Don't like that monster, toss it away. Now that's going to be useful. We grab that, an enemy that's too close, which is going to cause us a lot of threat, we can just get rid of. Yeah, we're going to take that. It's not always guaranteed because monsters can resist. But then it could make the difference between life and death. Aha! The Anvil of Krong. Now this is quite handy. These can increase the magic on your item. You know, you can only enchant an item once and it becomes a named item. First time it'll always succeed. The second and subsequent times for a new item, there's a chance it may or may not succeed. Now we're not going to enchant an item quite yet because I haven't got any items that I really want to enchant. Because these are all quite weak. So I don't want to waste powering up an item for something that's pretty pathetic. Now what we're going to do is we're going to try this. We're going to use that power. As you can see, we moved it out of the way. And you see over here, it's got saying 23 turns. It's just going to take a little while for it to come back. Cast off that magic. Now this is an electro blobby. That means it resisted. So it was a complete waste of time because I forgot it was an electro blobby. Right, move out of the way, let it lose as a target. Now fortunately, because it was an electro blobby, we got some volcanic resistance. So we didn't take the full damage of its effect. Smash that, we get a load of experience points. Disable that trap, get more experience points. Slowly wet. Ooh, that was harsh. Did just manage to kill that. And what we're going to do is we're going to let time just pass a bit. Get some of our health back. Also see what else we've got to eat. I don't want to eat the Diggle eggs because they're not easy to come by. The cheese can be quite handy. But for the moment I'm just going to try and let it naturally regenerate. Because what we're going to do is we're going to walk all the way to the far end. Give us some time. Yeah, we're going to move out of the way and we're going to eat this. We need to now immediately try and get ourselves into a better position. Use that magic. The water's not going to be of any help because these are flying creatures. So staying where I was, they were just going to surround me. And there we go. We managed to defeat it. Okay. Ammo recovery rate is increased. Australian technique. Causes increased damage for ranged weapons. And more ammo recovery is increased again. We can go with berserking, which gives our better combat ability. But it's temperamental, it's not all the time. This increases our ability to sense traps, could be useful. Tinkering potion, I think we're going to go with trap sense. That's something that quite often kills me, because when you start off, I think trap sense, not all your abilities are actually displayed on this. So unfortunately you can't tell everything. But yeah, the trap sense only starts off with about a handful of squares, like 2 or 3. And so you don't always notice immediately that you're about to walk on a trap. And if you're kind of going at a bit of a speed, because you don't want to take the game, don't want the game to take forever, and then you notice it from a little bit further away. And yes, notice that one a lot more easily. That's the reason why I took trap sense. It just makes it a little easier to discover the traps and not die by them. Boulder trap quite handy, but again, really against flying creatures of no use. That's plastic ore. Now what we should do is we should actually, now we collected up a load of things, see about taking a look at some of the crafting stuff. Blade trap. 45% chance. Wasn't sure if we were going to succeed against that. Had some food, so I wasn't. It's going to be enough to actually survive, but Diggle coming up, a bit low on health. So we're going to cast off our spell, so we can try and finish that off quickly. Before I cancel it, just double check there's nothing else really around. No, so we'll cancel that ability. No, we're not going to try. See, until I get a higher trap affinity skill, some of these mines are going to be too strong for me to actually deal with. That's a shoddy dwarven ID. We've managed to get that and put it into our inventory. Anyway, as I was saying, yes, we're going to have a look at the crafting now. Just after I take this long circuitous route to the door. Now, the Elven Grinder. I'm going to click on Have Ingredients. What you can do is an item you can grind it down to base constituent parts. In this case, aluminium and ingot into aluminium. Now if we got cheese, we could grind the cheese down into grated cheese, and the grated cheese could then be in the disposable ingot press, so like fused together to create an omelette. These are different ores that you can convert. We're going to convert the plastic ore into plastic ingot. Porter still, we don't have the ingredients, but if we did, we could make various potion bottles and stuff like that. We got the ingredients, but don't have the skill. Alchemy. So you can turn diggle eggs into brimstone and plastic ingots into empty flasks. So the flasks can then be used to create potions and stuff like that. So it all kind of works together. Double check here. No, this is handy. Potion of mana, amber, aquavitae and copper. Create a voltaic potion.